War and Wisdom, 169, 177 AD, by Marcus Aurelius, was the sole ruler of the Roman Empire. Lucius Verus, his co-emperor and adoptive brother, had died suddenly, likely of the plague that was devastating the population. The weight of leadership now rested entirely on Marcus's shoulders, and the challenges ahead would test not only his strength, but the core of his Stoic philosophy. As the empire reeled from the Antonine Plague, new threats emerged along the northern frontiers. Germanic tribes, including the Marcomanni and Quadi, began pressing into Roman territory across the Danube. The stability of the empire, already strained, now faced a military crisis. Marcus, though often thought of as a philosopher first, was no stranger to war. He donned the armor of a general, left the comfort of Rome, and led his armies to the front lines. For much of the next decade, he lived among soldiers in military camps, enduring the same cold, hunger, and danger they faced. He refused special treatment and led by example. His presence inspired discipline, loyalty, and a shared sense of purpose. It was during these brutal campaigns, far from the marble halls of the Senate, that Marcus wrote most of Meditations. Late at night in his tent, surrounded by war and uncertainty, he reflected on life, death, and duty. These writings were never meant for anyone else. They were personal reminders, a form of inner discipline to keep his mind steady while the world around him was crumbling. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. The writings of Meditations are not grand proclamations. They are raw, honest thoughts, often repetitive, sometimes weary, always grounded in the effort to remain virtuous in the face of hardship. They show a man who, despite commanding armies and governing millions, still struggled with anger, fatigue, and doubt, but he always returned to his principles. The war in the north dragged on for years. The tribes were skilled and relentless, and the terrain was unfamiliar and harsh. Rome's legions suffered defeats, supply shortages, and internal dissent. At one point, a general named Avidius Cassius declared himself emperor in the east, believing Marcus to be dead. It was a betrayal that could have torn the empire in two. But Marcus, true to his Stoic training, remained calm. He did not react with rage or panic. When the rebellion collapsed, and Cassius was assassinated by his own soldiers, Marcus refused to punish Cassius's family or supporters. He preferred forgiveness over revenge, mercy over spectacle. He believed that cruelty only multiplied suffering in the soul of the ruler and in the lives of the ruled. The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injustice. Even in war, Marcus emphasized moral responsibility. He issued strict orders to avoid unnecessary brutality. When victorious, he treated defeated tribes with fairness, often allowing them to settle within Roman borders under negotiated terms. He did not see his enemies as monsters, but as fellow human beings acting from fear and survival, just like his own people. Through his choices, he demonstrated that strength need not come at the cost of virtue. He believed that inner peace could coexist with outer conflict, and that a man could remain just even when surrounded by injustice. Yet these years also brought deep personal sorrow. Marcus lost more children to illness, bringing the total to at least 6 over his lifetime. His beloved wife, Faustina, who had accompanied him on several campaigns, died in 175 AD. Though rumors and criticism followed her in life, Marcus always defended her character and honored her memory. Still, he did not collapse under grief. He turned to his writings and to service. He reminded himself that death was natural, that all things must pass, and that to grieve is human, but to endure is divine.